What is Jarrell doing with all those coins? It's very frustrating to everyone in the party. He doesn't want us to know. No one knows what's going on. This week on Hapless Heroes.
Come on, Jarrell. Just bash him and bring him down. Let's do this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco. I'm your host and DM as the final battle rages on. Joining me is the same cast of characters. You know them, you love them. Starting on my virtual left, we have Dave playing Vecna, but good.
Insert labored breathing here.
Love that. Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Always at my service.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Hi there.
Zach as Peridot Lincolnwoods and occasionally Pregnart.
Blink and you'll miss me. Get it?
I don't get it.
That's a nice callback. And John is Lord Jarrell the Light and sometimes Dr. Dedu.
I can see Larlock, but I can't hit Larlock.
Yeah, so last episode there was a bit of a swing in the fight. A lot of people spent turns doing nothing. I have it here marked that there are 3 people currently cursed by Vecna. That is, I got Boris, Quinn, and Jarrell. Mm-hmm. Or not by Vecna, I said by Larlock, right? I said by Larlock and not by Vecna. I didn't actually fuck up, and now I'm just catching a mistake I didn't make.
No,
okay.
You probably fucked up.
I don't know.
I think you accidentally called him Mom, which is really embarrassing for you.
That is really embarrassing for me, for sure. So we were about to get to the top of initiative. I had mentioned that Larlock started doing something, channeling some sort of spell, like gesturing with his arm in like on one of his arms, and then touching the unconscious body of Vecna with the other at that end of the turn. So we are about to get to the top of initiative, but I want to just guide everyone's attention to this fight's been raging for a while now, both before with against Vecna and now against Larlock. And I think that with just the chaos that's been happening, our surroundings have sort of literally faded into the backdrop. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the scenery, like the backdrop, the actual backdrop, like the sky, when you look into it, I remember Dave describing some of like the things that we were seeing as almost like shards before, when we were looking out to the heavens, right, and seeing all of these shards coming together, right, to form this sort of like unholy mishmash of all of the different, like, essentially like worlds that Vecna stole.
At this point, your standard multiverse imagery.
We've all seen it now.
Sure, but those shards, right? Like, they all kind of came together and created this like space that we're all fighting in. But
yeah, from the 2023 Multiverse Lookbook.
Yes, you can find it there. It's an easy reference guide. But that purplish, like hazy sky now is, you can start to actually see cracks forming as if it were almost set into glass. Now, you didn't traverse through any glass, right, to get here. You were just launched here from Legradex, but it almost looks like the sky is cracking.
So, would we be able to notice if, like, are there breaking points, or is it just like, are we in a giant dome, or like is something encasing us, or
That's a great question, John. Maybe we can explore that some more in a bit. I just wanted to start. I wanted to start creating that scenery a little bit. That this is starting to happen now as this fight continues to happen. So at the top of initiative, we reach Larlock's turn, and he is essentially going to mutter something to himself, and he's just going to say, I just need you to go away for a little while, Vecna, while I deal with these idiots, and I just can't have you getting in my way. Or having them figure out how to save you, I guess. And he will he's gonna cast a spell. And it is, let me just make sure I get the right name of it. Yes, Demiplane. There will be what looks like almost a door that opens up, like a shadowy door that appears behind Larlock. And he takes Vecna's body and just kind of like hucks it into the door and shuts the door.
Rude.
Great.
No, thank you.
And y'all can see this. Yeah. So yeah, and y'all see this, even because like again with the monocles and all the stuff, right? You see this happen.
Paradil's still on the ethereal plane, right?
Yes, but at the start of your turn, you will be able to appear somewhere within. Why don't we just say it's like 20 feet of where you're standing?
And then I'll see that Vecna's just gone.
Yeah, because you
door.
don't have a monocle. Yes, the door is still there. Like the door exists there for a time. It doesn't just like immediately disappear.
Yeah, I don't have a monocle. I don't have any like. No one really knows what I'm doing in the ethereal plane,
Not yet.
me.
Yep.
I'm just out there.
You are. But that's what Larlock's going to do, and then he's going to, again, fly 30 feet into the air. And he's going to just start cackling. And he's just going to say, I've already won. You could just give up now, and this would be so much easier. Boris, it's going to be your turn. At the start of your turn, because of the fact that you did make an attack against Larlock and did try to actually like make a melee attack, I recall you were cursed by him. I have a note here on my thing that says you're cursed.
Did I make a melee attack? I didn't fling my dagger at him.
Did you fling it from melee range? I'm trying to remember. I just edited this episode too, and I feel like I forget.
I don't think I actually
where the
got
curse came
close enough to have actually been able for it to have been melee range. Because there was nobody within range close enough for me to be able to sneak attack.
Yeah, that's kind of what I just wanted to confirm, because I was wondering if maybe marked it wrong and marked it that you were cursed, but it's actually Quinn that got cursed because he stabbed him. And yes, Quinn, I do remember you did 7 damage to Larlock. And our audience remembers too, as they reminded me so kindly in Discord today. But
I think Boris did stab him at some point. I can't remember if it was flung.
But I think you might have flung it from melee range to specifically avoid this from happening, potentially, because I don't think you touched him in any other way.
I'm pretty sure I threw it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so were you still flying kind of in the same area you've sort of been hovering? I feel like that's
yeah, I
what
was trying
last.
to stay in Jarrell's bubble.
Yes,
Jarrell had
so-
asked you to give to do one of the monocles.
Yes, and you did.
Oh yeah.
I think. Oh no, you did not. You have to drop one down. You gave
Okay.
one. You stuck one on Quinn's face, and you stuck one
Yes.
on Jarrell's face.
Yes.
Okay. There's a lot to keep track of in this fight. So many things have
Mhm.
happened. So that was the last instruction you received, was to do a monocle. And then Larlock himself is about the same like elevation or like height you are, right? About 30 feet in the air or so,
Mhm.
but 30 feet ahead of you, like north.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the monocle thing, now that I've been reminded of that. Thank you.
And no, actually, hold on. I remember you did land to try to stab Larlock because you thought you were going to get sneak attack on Vecna's unconscious body within 5 feet.
Yep,
So you're
yep.
actually now 30 feet below where Larlock is.
Okay. Cool.
I remember now. Yes, I remember now. We're good. Now we have
I'm gonna-
everything settled.
I'm gonna go give Dedu a monocle anyway. I'm gonna focus on that task right now.
Okay, so you'll use your 30 feet then to fly to where the pile of coins are, right, and where Dedu is, and you're gonna just stick a monocle on him.
Yep, a gum monocle, same that everybody else is getting.
Boris is just constantly chewing gum in this fight to make sure that she has adhesive for equipment.
I mean, it's safe to assume that Boris has been constantly chewing gum since she was reintroduced as a character. I don't constantly say it, but assume that there is just a stream of bubblegum cigar going from pocket to mouth like every 30 minutes or so.
If we were not doing so before, we certainly are now.
We need to get Boris to a dentist as soon as this fight is over.
I wonder what dentists looked like in this day and age. Anyways, anything else on your turn, Boris? I mean, I'm gonna say you probably used your action to then, essentially plop that monocle on. But you have a bonus action. You have stuff you could do. I feel like, what I mean?
Is Pregnard over here with Dedu?
No, Pregnard has been hidden safe somewhere. I feel like we don't really quite.
30
I don't have
feet to the right and behind us, behind one of the pillars.
Yeah.
Yes, to the other pillar.
Nobody else
very
that's
neat.
unmonocled is close to me then. I'm just gonna hide behind some of the gold coins. That's how I'm gonna round out my turn.
Hide behind some of the gold coins.
It's a giant pile. Like I'm like
No,
hiding
it's
behind
not like a
big
giant
pile.
pile. I don't think you realize, 2,000 coins is a lot, but it's not as much as you think it is when it's all just fallen to the ground. It didn't fall into a nice little pile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can just see him Scrooge McDucking, trying to swim through it.
Right. That's not the pile of gold you're looking at here. It's more just like a bunch of coins scattered around the ground that I feel like Dedu has sort of been
Shaping. He's shaping it.
shaping them back together. Yes. You could try to hide behind Dedu or Jarell, I guess.
But you've given to do a monocle, right?
But no, you
Yes,
cannot
Dedu's
hide
good
behind the money.
monocles.
You cannot
Alright.
hide behind the money. You'd have to produce a lot more money than that to pile it up to hide it behind it. And I
Okay.
realize I just challenged you, and that's not, I don't want you to take that as a challenge. I just want you to know that 2,000 coins is not as many as you think it is.
Yeah, okay. So I helped Dedu kind of organize the. I see what Dedu is doing with the coins and trying to group them and assist with that for now. I'm
Sure.
just not really doing a whole.
I'm
lot
still curious
specific
where this is
likewise.
going. So sure, yes, 100%. And actually, I'm hoping that we'll get to learn now. It's the Dedu Pregnard turn.
Okay. Once the monocle is on Dedu's head, he will look up and see Larlock, horrible, standing there and go, it's awful! And then use his meteor swarm, because he can see where Larlock is now.
It says, blazing orbs of fire plummet to the ground at 4 different points you can see within range.
I can't make all those points him.
A creature in the area of more than one fiery burst is affected only once, is the last
Okay.
line of the spell here.
Oh, sure, but they still take the 20d6.
It would still be
or whatever.
20d6, but it's you could put all 4 on there, but he's not going to take 80d6. He's still going to only take 20d6.
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I just want him to take 20d6 and then another 20d6 of fire damage, because that's 40d6.
Okay.
That's all I want to do.
That's fair, and you can do that. He will legendary resistance and pass the save automatically, so I'm not even gonna roll.
It still looks like a big fiery explosion that he's coming out of. Like, it looks awesome. First of all, it's a 9th level spell, and I wanted him to have to burn that.
And I'm not immune to that, and it's not a targeted spell, so to me. So yep, that that there's no other thing that says I can't do that. So or that you can't do that. So yes, I passed the save, but you can still roll the damage.
Explosion. And do you take half on that?
I will take half.
Okay.
I guess. Right. It does say,
That's
half as much on a successful save for both of the damages. So 20d6 fire and 20d6 bludgeoning.
And it just looks like this massive explosion behind him.
Well, it just looks like meteors are falling from the sky,
Oh, yeah.
and some of them are hitting Larlock while he's in the air.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Is that our turn?
I mean, that's gonna be one of the things we're gonna resolve the damage. But I mean, if you want to say something, Pregnard, if you need to move or do something, you know what I mean? I'll let you do that.
How far away from Larlock am I? Is pregnant.
I guess he's 30 feet in the air and 30 feet north of you. You're just to the right of, you're about 20 feet or so to the right of your companions.
Okay.
So you're looking up just from a slightly different angle than they are, but you can't see where he is, right? You can see kind of where he's getting
See all the
hit.
meteors.
Yeah, you can see that the meteors are bouncing off something in midair.
So I'm
right.
the square root of 30 squared plus 30 squared away from Larlock.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So 79. What kind of damage is it?
Well,
It might matter.
I need fire and bludgeoning.
bludgeoning.
It's both magical. Okay.
79 magical bludgeoning. So yeah,
That's
that
divided by
half
2.
is 39, right?
Uh-huh.
And then 65 fire damage, which that'll be 32.
Oh. Holy crap. That's a lot of damage. Still.
That's why I was trying to do that.
That's still a lot of damage. Yeah, okay. He's gonna take all of that damage.
For half.
And well, he's gonna take half of the damage, right? We did the math.
Which-
It's still
yeah.
71 damage. Turns out 20d6 or 40d6 essentially is still a lot, even when you cut it in half.
Yep.
Wow. Larlock, I guess you can't really see exactly what he looks like because of the fact that he's still invisible.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to make a check here.
Does he start on fire or no?
Well, I'll have to determine if anything he's actually if he's actually flammable.
Right.
Just rolling some stuff.
Pregnant just tries to get Dedu's attention, making him aware that he wants to do something on his next turn.
It would be your opportunity to shine, because I know that the whole message and curse thing didn't work out for you, because we didn't really.
Because for some reason, message doesn't deal damage. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. Dedu will say, Gerald, stay here, don't go anywhere.
And I should also say that just because of the sheer amount of damage that was dealt, I had to make an incredible concentration check. Greater invisibility ends.
Oh. Nice.
Mirror image
Okay,
remains.
too. Yeah.
It seems like he's able to concentrate on more than one spell at the same time.
It's impressive.
But yes, he can break the rules. But he's you can see at this point he looks very singed. He looks very injured, and he starts cursing your name. I can't believe I'm being bested by a fucking goose. There's nothing else you're doing, right? Did you and Pregnant? I think you said you're essentially just you have something that you're saving for next time. If there's
Yeah.
Okay.
Dedu asked Jarrell to stay where he is.
Okay. Quinn, you are cursed. We're going to your turn, so I need you to start your turn by making me a wisdom save.
Sure. Do I have any buffs or anything?
You have. You are probably exactly 30 feet from Jarrell. So yes.
Which is what? A D4?
Right? Because Jarrell, is your aura 30 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So +5 to your save?
So +5. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you do it at advantage +5. Advantage.
Advantage +5.
At advantage, thank God. Okay. All right, so that's a 19, but I now can also use my final oh my God, what's it called?
Countdown.
No, when I give you guys the buffs.
Bardic
Why am I blanking on that?
Inspiration?
Bardic Inspiration. So I can use it on myself. So I'm gonna do it
Okay.
because I feel like it's gonna help.
It's time. Yep.
Okay, 26 total.
It's exactly what you need to pass.
I literally rolled a 14 plus 5 and then a 7.
You may do stuff as normal on your turn.
Ah! You're screwed. Okay, so I cup my hands, or Quinn cups his hands like a yodeler, or what's the thing at the cheerleading things? You know what I'm talking about.
A megaphone?
Megaphone. So
A bullhorn?
Bullhorn. Yes, I love it. So he cups his hands across his mouth and he just yells, "Power!" So I am using Power Word Stun, which means if he has less than
150 HP,
150 HP, he is now stunned.
What level spell is that?
8.
Cool. The Ioun Stone absorbs it.
Yep.
That's fine. Okay. So it's cool. It's a pretty cool spell, and I knew he wasn't going to end up having less Ioun Stones anytime soon, so I might as well try. But
I love that for you.
8 levels of his Ioun Stone. I still have all 50 of mine, so bring it, buddy. I am going to...
Love the confidence right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, if he's less than 150, we got Jarrell. We're going to be fine. I am going to... Because I still have 2 of my little guys left. So I'm going to... The 3 of us are going to shuffle toward, like, beneath Barlock. So, like, I'm... Like, so as he... potentially, hopefully, is going to start coming back down to the ground, I will be within range of him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if he comes back down to the ground.
I mean, come on, Jarrell, just bash him and bring him down. Let's do this.
Well, Jarrell is can fly still, but we'll see.
Right.
He was told to
Yeah.
stay still.
We'll figure it out. I think that's it.
Okay.
Because I used all my bardic inspiration now. I do have an action surge, but I'm not going to use it. I'm good. I'm done.
And you did action surge last time, actually.
I
Because
forgot about that. Yeah.
synaptic static and
I'll just cross that
okay.
off. I have the extra attack still, though, but I didn't attack. Okay,
We're gonna
cool.
do
I'm good.
a couple things are gonna happen here. So first, on your we're gonna go to Vecna's turn. I'm actually saving some legendary actions for later here in the initiative order. But Vecna, I need you to make an undeath save. We're gonna do that first.
Okay. And we started on a new set, right? Yes.
We are
did.
now on a new set. Yes.
Okay. And this is a 15, so that is a
one in the bad
a
column.
successful fail.
Yes. Okay. Another thing's going to happen. The sky begins to crack further. And you can actually see almost like a chunk of the sky itself, like almost like break off like an almost like an icicle or a shard of glass, like if you were to like smack a mirror, right, and just like see all the pieces crack, like just a big chunk of it like falls from the sky and then like hits the ground like some ways off in the distance and like just like shatters, and like what's left in the sky now is just like a black void. And
Black void.
within that black void there is like a pale little light that like kind of appears and is like beginning to shine a little brighter.
It's not a void.
Well, it's a void that's slowly being replaced by a light that's shining in. We're gonna resolve that in a second.
One little light.
One little light. What could it be? Paradil. You can
That's
choose
me.
to appear somewhere on the material plane again.
Is that part of move or is that an
No,
action?
that is the result of the drinking of that potion that I determined would get you out of the ethereal plane.
Blink, baby. I'm gonna blink.
It's like reverse
I'm gonna
blink.
do a blink.
Yeah, you're gonna do it. You're gonna done do a blink. Where are you?
I'm gonna blink myself into the prime plane. What is this? The material plane?
Yeah, technically
What is it
yes.
called? What is the regular plane?
The prime material plane.
Prime material plane. Is that right?
Yes.
Nice. I'm going to blink myself within melee range to Lorlock.
Okay, that's in the air further than you're going to be allowed to do so. I had mentioned somewhere
Well, I
within...
do have fly too, right?
Yes,
That was
'cause
my
you
second
drank,
potion,
You drank
yeah.
the cloudy potion that allows
Yeah.
you to fly. Yes.
Yeah.
So you can appear essentially about 10 feet from where Larlock is, and then you then fly the rest of the distance.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking sword him. I'm
Okay.
gonna slash him up right now.
That sounds great.
How many attacks per action do you get?
5.
And then do you still have your bonus actions to make it like?
4
10?
attacks per action, then my offhand action.
That's insane.
We'll see. We
Mhm.
will see.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not stopped moving, so I have.
You have
evasive
been in
footwork
motion this
still.
whole time. That sounds...
I
Yeah.
have evasive footwork still in action. Can I? None of those superiority feats conflict with one another. I can do like 2 at a time, right?
Each of them has their own condition that to be met, right? And each one spends a
Okay.
superiority die. So...
Right. I just need to look.
I think that it's for each attack action, you can probably attach one to it. I'm not sure if you could do multiple maneuvers on the same attack. I don't think we've ever tried, so we can look it up.
Do you think that preserving my evasive footwork will make it so I cannot do disarming attack? If
No,
try
I
to get
don't
that
believe
little-
I don't believe that's how that works. I mean, I think you should be able to. I will let you know momentarily.
What is the stone called again? The Ion Stone?
Ioun stone.
It's not a
Ioun
weapon.
Stone.
Can you just dislodge an item?
It's an object.
It is an object. It is. I mean, I will remind you that Boris did try to just steal one off of his head, and it didn't really.
It was not successful.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, with the other superiority thing, it's just when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to do the thing, right? With evasive footwork, it's just you spend the superiority die, and until you stop moving, that AC bonus is active. So like these can stack. It's just that for the ones that happen like when you the ones that are hit based, essentially you can choose to spend the die once you confirm that the attack has hit.
I may have been confused about what Ioun Stones actually were in general. He has a bunch of them?
Multiple floating around his head.
Okay. I thought this was something on his person or something.
Nope, they are floating around his head.
Can I passively perceive how many Ioun Stones are floating around his head?
There are 5 that are orbiting his head.
And we've used a lot of spells and not
5
one of
Ioun
them-
stones?
and not one
Five
of them has
5
broken yet.
Ioun stones. However, right, they are different colors.
Yeah, they're all doing different things, right?
Yes, they're not all the same.
Right. So
Thing.
Since I have an Ioun stone, I will inform you all. So there are a bunch of different tasks that it can prevent. And so the one that is the spell one is called Greater Absorption. So it's basically just absorbing spells up to a certain amount. The other orbs, I don't necessarily know what they do.
And
I
with
just
the
know that
greater,
one, I have that.
and as far as the Greater Absorption one, the one that you're able to recognize, you can notice he has 2 of those. 2 of the stones floating around his head are
Okay.
Greater Absorption stones.
Okay. So he can absorb, I think, up to 100 then. So, right, 50 spell slot, 50 spell levels on one, and then 50 spell levels on the other.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that is.
It's interesting. And what happens when you usually try to slice one of those things with a sword?
I don't know.
Just-
No one's
out of-
tried.
Just out of curiosity.
Probably
Now-
nothing.
Now, with the mechanics of that, Fran, right? Like, so because there's 2 different Ioun stones, it's not like they overlap. So, right, like, so if like one's down to like 4 levels and I cast a 5th level spell, he has to use
Just
the
use
other
the other
Ioun
one.
stone. Right.
Correct.
So once he's down to that lower number, we can technically start using higher levels and be fine.
Yeah, if you
but-
still have him left. Yep.
I know. I just used my only one, but Jarrell's got plenty, right?
We're talking a lot about future turns, but there's damage that might be happening here. But here's the thing. If you choose to attack like one of those items and not him, you're attacking essentially an object. That's not him. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I understand
mean,
that. No,
yeah.
I was considering my options, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and start
Yeah.
slicing,
Sounds good.
hacking away.
Let's see those attack rolls, buddy.
Let me just organize my objects and thoughts for a second.
Wow, I was not expecting the 71 damage.
That's
This fight is-
why did you wanted to do that so bad?
It's just that your friends were crowded around him a bunch most
yeah.
of the time.
And or Dedu couldn't see him.
Right, that too.
All right. So I'm gonna be starting with Jamiroquai.
And that's 4 attacks.
That's a nat 20
Oh. I see.
on my attack.
I see.
Hmm. That's
okay.
cool.
That's really good. That's a really good thing to happen. Give me a moment. I need to think about something now. Would you like to roll the rest of them just for giggles?
Yeah. Should I? All right, yeah. So I'll roll the rest of my 3 Jamiroquai attacks.
That sounds good.
That is a 23. That's a 26. And that is a 13.
13 will not do it. You need at least a 19.
I understand.
So, you crit though. I feel like I don't want to deny you the rolling of the damage. I feel like our audience wants to hear big damage number before any other things happen here.
That is a 11. Another 11. Another 11. 33. So that's 33 plus 13. So
Okay.
it'll be 46 total.
46 total. Okay. And this is Jamiroquai, which is what type of sword? Remind me.
+1 longsword,
It's a long sword. Okay.
but it is one-handed right now, so it is a 1d8 instead of a 1d10.
Yeah, I mean, you go in there and just like you're doing your weapon.
I did what I promised to do.
You're
I
slashing,
slashed him with
you're
a sword.
stabbing, and you see him sort of recoil.
Also, from his perspective, I just like blinked into his plane and just immediately just started swinging
Yes.
with a blade into
I
his
have to
face
roll.
and body.
I have to roll a few things because mirror image is still active.
Dang it!
So, for the crit, does it hit Larlock? Oh, fuck, it does. Okay. So, I let the dice decide. You got him first try. Shit. Okay, so.
How does that taste, you little fucker?
I would like for you to I want to give you the ability to describe to me what this attack looks like as you do reduce Larlock to below 0.
For the first
So-
time.
But something else is going to happen. Not what you expect.
So the first attack I made, the nat 20, was just a clean slice of his Achilles tendon. I just appeared, blinked into his plane, and thrust my sword under his leg and severed his Achilles tendon.
There wasn't even one there to begin with because he's kind of undead-ish. But sure, yes.
Well,
Where that-
whatever looks important in terms of connective tissue and or structure to his body, slashed it,
Sure.
severed it.
Yep.
Done. Next 2 are just an X on his abdomen. Abdomen.
Okay.
Abdomen. And then I tried to swing at one of the little Ioun stones above his head for my 4th one, and I missed.
When Larlock, essentially, after Larlock takes these hits, you see that all of his mirror images disappear. And he begins to fall to the ground. And he's just, you're going to see him like with his, skeletal face make what can only be described as sort of a crooked smile. And he says, as he like, almost like in slow motion, right? Like his gray thinned hair strands sort of like, floating, like it's almost in slow motion as he like sort of leans back right before he falls. And he just looks at you, Paradil, and he says, I've already won, don't you see? Good luck getting home. See you in a few centuries. Or no, I won't. You won't be here. And then you just see him kind of start just turning to dust. And as he starts falling to the ground, like before his body even hits the ground, it's just sort of ash. Like he just got snapped.
Or staked.
The sky begins to crack much more rapidly now.
Uh-oh.
What's that little light doing? What's that little light of mine doing?
It's growing very, very bright. You also hear, as if, Boris, you hear like what sounds like almost like a pin drop somewhere from where Larlock fell as well, although you can't quite identify what that sound is. And then this light gets very bright, and what it looks like, you almost see this like visage of like a giant humanoid like creature thing sort of now like emerging from the light in this void. And behind it, a swarm of tinier beings. Is that Zero?
Probably.
Oh, and all the Modrons?
Wait, the little light was Zero?
Zero is the Primus. Or
The
whatever.
Primus.
Yeah.
Absolute integer 0.
Right.
My name is Mud. Is anybody's name Mud?
I don't
That
know.
is the Primus?
No. But Zero, would you like to say something as you make an entrance here?
And an entrance he does make. Born to the earth on what appears to be a blocky throne, Zero is sort of lounging, one of his long legs crooked over what would be one of the sides. When we say sides, it's kind of like a big, like meter deep recess in this slab where he's sitting. And as you look closer, it's actually 15 cube Modrons arrayed together as his throne that he is riding down on. His armor looks different in that he has significantly less of it. Even most of the wood is gone, and he's just a metal frame, looking more like almost tarnished copper than anything else. Also just slightly hazy and indistinct. If you think of Pigpen from the Charlie Brown cartoons, it's a lot like that, where it's just a cloud of what looks like dinginess around him.
So now you're coming from the air here. Like, are you saying that this you born to the earth, so to speak? Like, is this like just a chunk of terrain that you're floating down on with your swarm of Modrons in tow?
Well, no, that is a chunk of 15 cubic Modrons arrayed as the throne. And after it touches down and he steps off of it, they separate and start floating around and behind.
Okay.
Hey, so, did I miss anything good?
Zero, welcome. I think we defeated both Vecna and Larlock. They're gone now.
Wait, Vecna and who now?
Felix. And Jarrell looks around. Is Felix's corpse anywhere?
That's a great question. if at least from where you are standing, you don't see one, but where Larlock's like ashiness would have fallen was a little bit further away from where you are right now, right? So you'd have to go check.
Okay. Yeah. Jarrell is going to run and try to check while Zero makes his grand entrance.
Yes,
Boris
I also
is
should
going
note
as well because she heard the pin drop and wants to
Yes.
seek that out.
I'm going to note a couple things here. First of all, Peridil, you're feeling very cursed.
That sucks.
And Jarrell is still cursed?
Jarrell
What do I
and
have?
Quinn.
Like, do I have like a sore throat, body ache? How am I doing?
It's like your body feels like you almost feel like ill, but like not like you're sick. It's not like an infection, but you feel like it's like almost like you feel your skin your skin's crawling like constantly. And occasionally it's sometimes like hard to move.
Am I still? Did it end fly for me? Am I
Nope.
able to fly still?
You're still able to fly.
I'm still like kind of hovering in the air, but just feeling generally ill.
Yes. Obviously, we're out of initiative at this point for now.
Sure.
So that, I'm not going to be doing the whole like skip your turn thing, right? But occasionally, like you're just overcome. Like, occasionally, you're just going to be overcome with this sort of like almost like magical illness where you just like kind of have to take a pause because like you're overwhelmed by whatever this like curse is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it clouds your ability to do anything.
Got it.
So Zero, like you're looking upon your friends scattered amongst, this battle, this like destroyed battlefield. You could see like where like meteor impacts have like happened, and like, there's like all these fallen pillars, that gigantic fallen tower, right, that Vecna had erected. There's that shadowy door that's still lingering, like in the middle of this like little plaza you're in. The sky is cracking and pieces are starting to break off of it. Like it doesn't like this is not a while this is definitely a reunion and we want to see some exposition, I just want to make sure that backdrop is constant here. Like everyone is very hurt, I'm assuming. Also, like no one looks great. Everyone's taken some hits. Like you're all spent. You're all tired. Yes, Larlock may not physically be here anymore, but he didn't seem to feel or sound all that defeated. And so, you're sitting here now in a realm or a world or a place that is literally falling apart. So,
I might add that Peridil might be extra troubled because the world around him is increasingly resembling shambles.
Oh yes, I feel like the amount of shambolosity, that's the one, is going to exponentially increase as time goes on. You can feel it in your bones, Peridil, as someone who hates shambles. But for those who went to go check to see, where if Felix is there, yes, Felix's body is on the ground. And Boris, you notice that there is not maybe about 10 feet from Felix's body a paperclip.
Boris, don't touch that paper.
Jarrell is running up. Does he notice that Boris...
Does Peridil see the paperclip?
Oh yeah, Peridil is right there.
Yes.
All right. Peridil, as soon as he sees the paperclip, gets to work on another like enclosure, like little master.
Do you like use your like
thing.
blacksmith tongs to like pick it up so that you're not making contact with it?
Boris,
I'm doing exactly the same thing as last time. I'm fashioning it into just a self-contained enclosure, some sort of clockwork device that I can rig to attach it to somebody else.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
Just the same thing that I attached to the cross.
Now you're weaponizing it again.
You're aiming to weaponize it again.
But I'm not right now attaching it to a crossbow bolt. I'm just now.
It's taking you some time because again, this curse is just slowing you down. It's just like what would be normally trivial for you is taking you like some mental fortitude to try to like really like focus on this task.
Surely.
Felix is lifeless and sitting there in his alien like his actual true changeling form.
Can you so what there's two things I can do here. But I want to try this one first. Now, Raise Dead requires 500 gold pieces, but that's like specific items, is it?
It's usually 500 gold of something. Of something
do we
specific.
have that?
I don't know. What is the material cost for that? Let's see. For Raise
Good
Dead,
chance Boris has something close that might work.
it
yes,
requires
also, there's a lot of money on the ground, but I don't know if that's still in use for something.
a diamond worth 500 gold.
Oh yeah, I've
At
got
least-
one of those.
Boris, I need one of your diamonds. I think I can revive Felix.
Okay, Boris actually has to run back over to the area where all the coins are on the ground because I realized from my notes from that episode
the diamond is one of those things that's on the ground.
the pocket that I emptied had magic wands, several pieces of jewelry, 9 muffins, and all the coins and jewels from Dr. Hyde's office. So yeah, I root around, I find an appropriately sized diamond, or an inappropriately oversized diamond. This one's worth like 5,000 gold, not like
Sure.
it's like a fist-sized diamond. Just like come over and drop it.
All right, Jarrell holds it in his hand. It starts to glow. He puts his other hand on Felix's body, and the diamond explodes and just completely, just a bunch of power flies out of it. Is this enough to bring Felix back?
You know, it's funny because there's a condition in this spell, and it says, if the creature's soul is both willing and at liberty to rejoin the body, the creature returns to life with 1 hit point. Felix does not return to life.
And so that's... Yep.
Jarrell, within you, the voice of Valen speaks. This one is long gone, my champion. His soul is not his own. And you, my champion, are not safe yet, and remain to be the only hope we have left. You must leave this place, and leave quickly.
Where?
As that conversation's happening, hold on, I want to just cut. I don't want to get too far because we have a lot of
Right.
people here that I want to just kind of like get the actions and happenings of. 0, you've just arrived. Okay, now you can see that everyone is sort of huddled by a lifeless Felix. Quinn and actually Quinn, you're seeing the same thing. Like, what are the two of you doing? Like, do either of you have something you're trying to do here? I mean, obviously 0, you've arrived. So essentially at the end of a fight, but at the start of something else. So, and again, also shadowy door in the middle of the situation still. Just want to make sure we get some banter, some dialogue, some everyone's sort of observations of the chaos that is still unfolding, even though the villain is no longer present. Which, congratulations, by the way, you guys did great. I was not expecting, again, the 71 damage. I just want to maybe just take a moment and just like give you a clap. That was excellent. Well played. Well done, everybody.
Yeah. Didn't kill him. We know who
did.
killed him, though. 71
Quinn-
damage was a good start. Glad somebody finished it.
Yeah, Hyde something he wasn't gonna iron stone his way out of, but
Quinn points his rapier up to the sky and just shouts, "I know it's important for us to mourn our friend, but the sky is falling."
yeah, I was about to comment. The weather is actually, unironically, relatively lovely here, but
Now,
yeah, no, that's not the good news you guys think it is. It's how do they put it in the cities? Shit's fucked, yo.
Paradil puts his paperclip work on hold for a second, and he walks over to the corpse of Felix, and sort of takes a moment to reflect on their friendship. He thought for years and years and years that they were both gnomes, so he is at once deeply mourning, but also feeling very confused and betrayed by his former friend. And he sheds a single tear. and he takes out the clockwork fire starter from his gear that he made, and he sets it aflame. So it's like basically like one clockwork candle, and he sets it beside his friend.
That's very
And
sweet.
walks away.
It's very sweet. Towards Zero, I guess, or like
Mhm.
okay. Boris, or just were there anything else you're doing before I continue this conversation with Jarrell?
I mean, Boris accepts what she just saw as the start of a funeral and puts a bubblegum cigar in Felix's hand, and then also walks over towards Zero.
Nice. Jarrell, this conversation again is still happening inside of you, because remember that you absorb the spirits of like all of these celestials essentially, right? And so Valen continues. She says, "You alone must brave this path now. You, Jarrell, have already ascended to places that many mortals never, can only even dream of, or don't even think exist. You are the champion of the light now. Where I failed, you have succeeded. You are no longer just my champion, Jarrell. You are the champion of all that is good and righteous. But your work is not done, and it will never be done. Evil will always exist, and you must be the force to balance it. I can't teach you everything in one, in this short span of time. The important thing first is that you leave this plane by any means necessary, by whatever tools you have available to you and your companions.
What planes are left?
All of that will be revealed to you in time. I can't see these things anymore, Jarrell. You are my eyes. You are the embodiment of justice and good. It's up to you to forge this path now, Jarrell, and ascend to your rightful place as the protector of all that is good."
Jarrell looks at the portal. It's just
It's a door. It's a shadowy door.
actually a shadowy door.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at the group and at Zero. We have to get out of here. I don't think there's much time for this place.
Okay. Well, where's that door go anyway?
I wasn't looking forward to opening it, but I think that might be our only path. Dedu pipes up. I can get us somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah, Zero mentioned something about everything being kind of fucked. Did you want to elaborate that when he's talking about somewhere, Zero?
Yeah, so, what kind of somewheres did you have in mind? I'm not really sure I elaborated properly. So, are you sure that door doesn't go anywhere? Because I've got enough time for a summary, but not a perfectly good explanation. All right, anyway, Mechanus. Everyone's got it, right? Plane of order. Order is awesome. Yeah, I know. Stop. Don't look at me like that. I'm a little biased, but it's awesome in that it is real. When I say real, I'm trying to pronounce a capital letter here. So, how best to put this in ways that if you haven't programmed, none of you have programmed anything. There isn't even any programming going on here, but you know how an artist uses a reference? Creation was using Mechanus as the reference for order and reality. Mechanus broke. Reality doesn't have a standard of reference for reality anymore, and it's driving everything absolutely bonkers. Mass hysteria, cats living with dogs, all of it. It's not good.
Jarrell's kind of like half listening to what sounds like Zero's ramblings and opens. the door to go in, because he realizes what Zero's saying, that all these realities are just completely like, if Dedue were to teleport us, who knows where
would it take you?
Yeah. So he'll be the first to open the door.
Okay. The door, when you open the door, inside is what appears to be just like a 30 by 30 foot like empty room with Vecna unconscious inside of it. However, the walls of this room are not just like your standard like drywall or whatever, like stone wall or anything like that. Like they're just, it almost looks like they're made of glass, but there's nothing on the other side of the glass, right? It's like a shiny, like, but just dark surface. But you can even see that like as you if you're staring into this room for any number of seconds, like it almost looks like the backdrop of space inside, like, you know, like behind this like quote unquote glass. And it almost looks like you know when, and this is only going to probably make sense for people who've been exposed to video cards that break, but like when a video card is breaking on your computer, like something that's creating your display, and artifacting starts to occur where like little boxes and pixels and things like that start to like discolor or show up in weird places, like that's what's happening in that backdrop as well. It almost looks like space is glitching out in whatever space this is in.
And just Vecna sitting in here unconscious by himself.
Yes, which, by the way, when am I making another end death save? Vecna, it's been a while.
Sure.
I was expecting him to just be there, like, just standing in the middle of the room, hanging out.
That was a 12 on the die, so that's another success fail.
Vecna is actively dying?
Yeah. Zero kind of makes what looks like a subtle nod, and 8 of his cube Modrons go into the room. Each of them goes to a corner and plants itself hard into the corner. Like, so each of the corners of the cube, like the top and the bottom.
Sure. Okay.
And he's like, just like tells them as they're going through, hold it open.
Okay.
So each of the Modrons has gone, like, just the cube ones have just gone and slammed themselves into each of the corners of the room and are
to prevent this, whatever this demi-plane is from collapsing.
Essentially holding a little bit of pocket reality in there.
That makes sense, because as long as there's presence in there, you'll never lose sight of where that plane is. Because if once this spell demi-plane, like once this door disappears, then that plane is effectively sealed off, right? You would have no point of reference as to where that is. It's just like an empty plane, small little plane of existence. Because that's how that shit works in this world, I guess. But sure, so they're effectively holding it open and giving you sort of a planar reference point in case this door were to ever close. You'd be able to pinpoint on that with your knowledge now of like how those things operate, Zero, seeing as how well you've gone through some changes between the last time we saw you and now.
Yes.
But yes, reality is like falling apart. However, I guess if you were thinking about plane shifting or doing something like that, like it would still take you somewhere. And I will say that it's going to get to a point where anywhere is going to be better than here soon enough. Lygradex is still a destination, potentially, but, you know, one might assume that Vecna being quote-unquote good and all, and that wish may have also had further repercussions than just now Vecna's alignment is good.
Yeah, I hate to be the one to tell you, Mechanus was not the only realm that fell. So, yeah, the ones that define good and evil, they're not working anymore either. So, just, be prepared to be a little flexible with your morality if necessary. Don't worry, there's no standard. By the way, is that Vecna?
Sorry, Jarrell would like to do a religion check on how to revive a dead, evil, undead god. Good, evil.
He's
undead.
good now. Yeah, that's Vecna, and
Like,
I made him good.
Is there anything we could do to heal him? Knowing that my
Well, seeing as
holy-
how we made healing hurt him, then I'm gonna say that necrotic damage will heal him.
Okay. Can any of us do necrotic damage?
Because, well, wait, can we close this logical loop? Because he would be immune to necrotic damage in the first place, right?
Yes.
Or would he take?
He'd be
just
immune
like
to it.
completely immune to it,
Yes.
or would he take half of it?
Let's see, immunities: poison, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. He has a resistance to necrotic.
Oh,
but he's
okay,
not
so it'd be
immune to
half.
necrotic.
It would be half. Be half damage.
I'm glad I still had that sheet up.
But I'm gonna say just because we've already created this, like we've resurrected a rule that doesn't exist anymore, in that Vecna took damage from being healed, because like that was a thing from prior editions.
So I can actually cast necrotic damage.
Okay.
So I can hold on. Let me make sure I have the spell slot for it. I do. I have one left. Okay. So I have bestow curse. So I can cast. So while the target is cursed. Oh wait. Nope, I read that wrong. Never mind. I thought I could cast necrotic damage. No, I just give it while it's cursed. So I don't think that makes any sense.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Sorry.
Does the evil version of Jarrell's sword do necrotic damage? Is that what
It might.
that thing?
Probably would. I
What
wouldn't.
if you stab him with it? Is it going to make him more dead?
We're trying to heal you.
Yeah, I'm gonna heal you by stabbing you.
I can't really pull the sword out of my own pocket.
It would, yeah, and it also wouldn't deal just necrotic damage, or it would also deal slashing damage, which would be bad.
Right.
But just
I love
touching it made people's arms like so. If I just like drop the sword on his chest, handle down, would that like?
Would you want to try it? It's gonna hurt.
Is it gonna hurt me?
Yes.
I need to find a way to get it out of my pocket without touching it.
Okay.
Wait, what's the problem?
The cursed sword she has.
Yeah.
You can't touch it, or it hurts you.
Hey, I got an idea. I send one of the round Modrons over for it.
Do you just like open your pocket and let it reach in?
Cool. I can open my pocket big enough for a Modron.
Yes.
Sure.
The whole Modron doesn't even go in, but one of its arms in like Inspector Gadget like snakes into there. It just keeps feeding arm into there for like a good 10 seconds.
Until it pulls the
And
sword
then-
out. As the sword is pulled out, the Modron's eyes turn red, and you feel you've lost connection to it, Zero. And it starts. It now holds the sword in an armed position, ready to attack you. And that's what we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Oh, what have I done?
Thanks everybody for listening. The big bad might be gone, but the story's not quite over yet, so stay tuned. But until then, you can find us on the internet. We're on such places as Twitter, Instagram, all the socials. Look for Hapless Heroes or Hapless Heroes Podcast. Those places will have a pinned post or something in our description, or that has like a link to join us where we really socialize most of the time on the internet, and that's our Discord server. It's totally free to join. It's a great community we got built in there. We're always talking about different things. We're discussing, the latest episodes and spoiler tag discussions. We're sharing pictures of our wonderful little animals at home, all the things. Come join the conversation. We'd love you to be a part of it. It's a really cool place to hang out. And now, if you really, really like us, we'd also love it if you left us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. It just helps us, be more visible to other people. Honestly, the more people you recommend this show to, the better off we are. And we love reading your kind words. It keeps the wind in our sails. And if we catch, one of your reviews, we'll read it on the air. We'll acknowledge you for the 5-star keeping you are. It's a really great thing. We also have a 5-star channel in our aforementioned Discord server where you can also say some nice things about us, and we will acknowledge you. But now, if you really, really, really like us, you can donate to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/haplessheroes. I have a whole bunch of rewards, most of them accessible right at the $5 tier, the price of a cup of coffee every month. We got behind the scenes audio. We got a little mini show we've been doing called Between Two Episodes, where we just riff on a topic for anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes and just kind of go. It's a great little time. We encourage you to check that out. I've also added the ability to actually, you have a private RSS feed now if you join our Patreon, if you're a current or new subscriber, so that you can take all those audio posts we do and put them into your favorite podcast player app and make it that much easier for you. And that link is personalized to you specifically. You also get a shiny roll on our Discord
that sounds
server.
Advanced.
Yeah, it's
that
pretty
sounds
cool.
Really impressive.
Some of our listeners asked for it, and so they shall receive. Please, if you think about it, join us. It's cool. We hope you like the rewards. Check it out. See if it's right for you.
And if you like us right now, you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal. Fashion a wig out of moss and twigs and sticks, which are different from twigs because they're sized differently in both length and circumference. And go to a science museum and just prop yourself up in the corner and put a little label placard on yourself that says the first Hapless Heroes podcast listener, and then have a little description of yourself, and that says you were driven to insanity and made this wig because there's something wrong with your little brain because you listen to our podcast too much.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Nothing left for me to do now besides outro this cast for you starting on my virtual right. We've had John playing Lord Jarrell the Light and Dr.
Until next time.
Zach as Paradil and Pregnart.
Goodbye.
Nicole is Boris the Butcher.
I don't want to be stabbed by that thing.
Mike is Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
He looks at his other two doppelgangers and he says, "I'm still handsome as ever."
Oh my fucking god. And Dave as Vecna but good and also Zero.
It's been real, everyone.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM. Tune in next week when we see what the aftermath of this whole situation is and, well, how this whole thing ends. I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.